Hello, amazing people, and a heartfelt welcome to each and every one of you tuning in today. It is an absolute joy to have you here. Before we embark on this fascinating journey into a unique cultural tradition, I want to take a genuine moment to send my very best wishes out to you and your family. In a world that can sometimes feel uncertain, our health and happiness are the most precious gifts we have. So, from the bottom of my heart, I truly hope you are feeling strong, are in good spirits, and are surrounded by wellness. May your days be filled with positive energy and your heart with peace. Now, let's explore a custom that, at first glance, might seem shocking or even rude, but in its proper context, is a beautiful and ancient practice meant to protect loved ones from harm. In Greece, there exists a tradition that often surprises and confuses visitors, the act of spitting. To most of the world, spitting is considered a vulgar, impolite, and unhygienic act, something to be done discreetly and certainly not in public or in company. But in Greece, this very same physical action has been completely transformed into something entirely different. It is not an act of disgust. It is a powerful and ancient charm against evil, a symbolic gesture meant to ward off misfortune, envy, and bad luck. It is a practice steeped in thousands of years of history, tracing a direct line back to the philosophies and superstitions of ancient Greece itself. This isn't about real, physical spit. It's about the profound symbolism behind the action. To understand this custom is to understand a key part of the Greek psyche, a deep-seated awareness of the ever-present danger of the evil eye, a playful relationship with fate, and a fierce, protective love for family and friends that will use any tool, no matter how seemingly strange, to keep them safe. The concept that this practice is designed to combat is known as the evil eye, or mutaiota mati in Greek. The belief in the evil eye is arguably one of the oldest and most widespread superstitions in the entire world, found in countless cultures across Europe, the Middle East, and beyond. But in Greece, it is woven into the very fabric of daily life. The evil eye is not necessarily about someone consciously wishing you harm. It can be cast unintentionally by a compliment, a look of envy, or even excessive admiration from someone else. The idea is that this negative energy, this bad look, can bring about a string of misfortune, everything from a simple headache and general feelings of lethargy to more serious bouts of bad luck in business or personal life. Because the danger is so ever-present and can come from anywhere, even from a well-meaning friend, Greeks have developed a whole arsenal of customs and charms to protect themselves. The most famous of these is the Mati charm itself, the blue eye you see everywhere on jewelry, hanging in cars, in homes, and in shops. But the spitting ritual, which is called ftou after the sound made, is the active, human-powered defense against this invisible threat. So, how does it work? You will not see Greeks actually hawking a loogie and spitting on each other. The act is entirely symbolic. It involves puffing out a quick burst of air through pursed lips, mimicking the sound and action of spitting, usually 3 times in rapid succession. The number 3 is deeply significant, a holy number in Christianity representing the Holy Trinity, but its power as a mystical number predates Christianity, reaching back into ancient times. This symbolic spitting is almost always accompanied by saying ftou, and often followed by a phrase like sigma tau lambda lambda alpha sigma omicron upsilon st aliso, which roughly translates to on your other things, meaning, may this bad luck go on to other, less important things instead of sticking to you. The gesture is performed in specific situations where the risk of the evil eye is perceived to be high. The most common scenario is when someone pays a compliment. If a person says, "Your baby is so beautiful," or "What a gorgeous new car," the parent or owner will immediately respond with ftou. They are not spitting at the person giving the compliment. Far from it. They are acting to neutralize any potential negative energy that might have accidentally been transmitted through that praise. It is a reflexive, protective measure. You might also see it during a conversation where someone is describing a potential future misfortune or a past tragedy. It is a way to symbolically spit on the bad luck itself, to reject it and prevent it from becoming reality. To understand why spitting, of all things, became the chosen vehicle for this good luck charm, we have to travel back in time to the world of ancient Greece. The ancient Greeks had a complex relationship with the human body and its functions. They saw saliva, particularly the saliva that was produced first thing in the morning, known as propolis, as having potent and special properties. Great philosophers and physicians like Pliny the Elder wrote about the healing and protective powers of saliva. It was believed that saliva could ward off witchcraft and illness. This belief likely stems from the observation that animals lick their wounds and that human saliva has mild antiseptic properties due to the presence of an enzyme called lysozyme. This enzyme helps break down the cell walls of certain bacteria, providing a very basic level of protection against infection. While the ancient Greeks didn't know about lysozyme specifically, they observed that small wounds in the mouth seemed to heal quickly and that licking a cut could sometimes help. From these observations, saliva was elevated to a status of a natural, bodily produced protective agent. The act of spitting, therefore, was not seen as dirty. It was seen as the physical act of projecting this protective force out into the world, a way to literally throw your defenses at a threat. This ancient belief was so powerful that it persisted through the Roman Empire and was seamlessly absorbed into Greek Orthodox Christian tradition, which is filled with its own rituals involving breath and spirit. The priest uses his breath during certain blessings, and the very word spirit comes from the Latin spiritus, meaning breath. So, the act of blowing air of forceful exhalation has always been connected to the idea of projecting one's soul, one's energy, and one's protection. This custom is a perfect example of what anthropologists call apotropaic magic, magic that is intended to turn away harm or evil influences. It is a ritual that empowers the individual. In a world full of uncertainties and invisible dangers, the ftou ritual gives people a sense of control. It is a small, immediate action they can take to protect their children, their home, and their future. It is a psychological tool that alleviates anxiety about the unknown. For a Greek person, performing this act is as natural and instinctive as saying "bless you" when someone sneezes in Western cultures. It is a deeply ingrained social habit, a language of care expressed not with words, but with a sound. You will see grandmothers do it over their grandchildren, friends do it to each other, and even people do it to themselves if they hear some bad news. It is a thread that connects the entire culture, from the most educated city dweller to the most traditional villager. It is a unifying cultural code. For a visitor to Greece, witnessing this for the first time can be a startling experience. You might be having a wonderful conversation with a local, you compliment their beautiful home, and they suddenly puff their cheeks out and make a spitting sound at you. It is crucial in that moment to understand the context. They are not being rude or disgusted. In fact, they are likely being quite the opposite. Your compliment was so generous and sincere that they felt the need to activate the strongest defense. They have to ensure that your kind words don't accidentally attract any negative energy. It is, in a very strange and ancient way, a sign of respect for your opinion. It means they valued your compliment so much that they had to protect its subject. As a visitor, you are not expected to participate, but understanding the meaning behind it will enrich your experience of the country tremendously. It will allow you to see beyond the initial strangeness and appreciate the deep layer of history, superstition, and heartfelt care that defines this unique tradition. It is a beautiful reminder that symbols are powerful, that culture is deep, and that the ways we choose to protect the ones we love can take the most unexpected and yet most human of forms. It shows a culture that is deeply aware of the fragility of good fortune and is fiercely, actively, and passionately committed to guarding it.